Hello there, and welcome to episode 3 of our Let's Play City Skylines on the Grey Waters map. Episode 3 already. So very quick recap of where we left things last time. So we obviously built our initial town here on the easterly side of the island in episode 1. We then moved on to start populating the little northern town over here, which will eventually be our forestry town. And then we started building our farm towards the latter end of the last episode because we unlocked the DLC. I think we were in a pretty good place. So what we're going to do today is continue expanding our residential zones and continue to expand our farming industry over here. So what we want to do is try and get this to at least level 3 today. I'm probably not looking to go any further than that, at least for now, with this particular farm. I just want it to be like a small village farm, and then potentially start working on our forestry. But let's see how we get on. Cool. So what I want to do to begin with, again, we've got quite high residential demand, so I just want to populate a little bit more residential over here. So again, I'm just going to use these cul-de-sacs just to populate some of our residents. We'll have all of those coming in. Let's do these ones. Excellent. And then I want to get rid of these pylons here as well. So what I will do is just have a couple of small little houses coming in here, and that should hopefully allow us to bring the electricity through. Yeah, everyone looks okay. So everyone's going to be happy. Cool. So now we've got some residents coming in. What I want to do is focus a little bit on our farms, and we do have a slight budgetary issue, but I'm hoping this is purely because we've just started up and everyone's kicking in. So it's coming down slightly. No. So we'll leave that for now. That should come through. But what you'll notice is we're having some issues here with our crop field. So not enough buyers for products. And you'll see that our crop storage within the field itself is currently full. And we're almost halfway full on this one as well. So you'll remember we turned this off on our previous episode to stop that influx of trucks coming into the city and clogging up all of our infrastructure and taking all of our money away. So what I'm going to do is just quickly turn this on, and then what this should do is immediately show that we're not giving him enough water. So let's give him some water. Very nice. And this should now just allow the products that are being produced in here to come through and be entered into the silo over here. So you'll see that it's slowly starting to build up, which is very good. So next thing I want to do is just start expanding this out a little bit. So in order to reach our next level, we need to get to certain milestones. So we need to have 500 units being produced, so we obviously need a lot of production. And then we also need to have 150 workers at least. And we've currently only got capacity for 90 workers. So we need to get our worker volume up in this area. Cool. So the first thing I want to do is think about what we want to do next. So we're obviously producing crops through our wheat farms. We're then able to store the crops in our small grain silos. So the first thing I want to do is create a production building. So if we come back into our industry tab, come over to our farm, you'll notice we have certain topics up here. So we've got our main buildings, which will be, for instance, our farm main building. We've then got our extractor buildings where we produce our goods, and then we have our processing buildings where the goods are taken to be processed into whatever output is given by that particular asset. So you'll see here, if we add a small animal pasture, it's going to take the wheat that we produce from our wheat farms, and it's going to turn that into animal products, obviously through the animals. Cool. So let's get that built in so that we can start utilizing some of these materials. So again, I want to stick with my rural roads for now, and I want to come to this road guideline and just come out by, I mean, it doesn't really matter, we're going to tidy this up, but I'm going to come out by 20 for now, just to give myself a little bit more to work with. I'll do the same over here because we will use this area in a second. So if I come back into my industries tab, grab my small animal pasture, and I want to leave at least a 3 space gap here. We could leave 4, 5, 6, whatever, but I'm going to leave 3. And what this will do is just allow me to do a bit of decoration through here, maybe a path going around, but eventually as well I will add some more buildings over to the side of this just to enhance the look and feel of this whole area. So what these guys are going to do is they're going to come and pick up the products from over here or from our silo, drop it off, and you'll see immediately animals are now taking the products, so the crops that we produced. So we get a selection here. So we've currently got sheep. We can either have sheep, pigs, Highland cows, or cows. I'm going to actually pick Highland cows for our animals here. So we'll see them start coming in, and this just gives a nice aesthetic to the area. Cool. So let's have a look at what that's done to our output. So that should allow us to produce more resources to get to that 500 quicker, but it's now allowed us to have a maximum of 115 workers in this area, so we're still some way off getting our 150 requirement. But what I do want to do is produce more crops, so I'm going to come back into here, grab our extractor buildings and get 2 more crop fields placed again around this small grain silo. And again, you've got a few options, but I'm going to go with corn on this occasion. So again, looking at this from the road, eventually this will be a 4-lane, but you're driving along this road, quite nice views. You've got your wheat fields and your corn fields, grain silo, you've got your animals in the background. I think everyone's going to be quite happy with that, especially if you're kind of sitting in Fry Guys, you're looking out over a nice farm. It's quite a nice view. Everyone's going to be happy. Cool, so let's see what that's done. So that's allowing us to have 155 workers, and we need to hit that 150. So we should now have enough to eventually get to that second milestone. So I'm just going to leave that running for a little while, see how it goes. Our grain silo is slowly getting filled up. So yeah, let's just leave that for a little while and concentrate on some other areas of the town. So the first thing I'm going to do is come back over to our industry. So again, this just looks absolutely horrendous. Again, these roads are very temporary. We're going to upgrade these in the future and make this look a bit more tidy, change the layout, etc. But what I want to do, I want to kind of force workers into our farm area to get that building up really quickly. So the first thing I'm going to do is just delete some of these unnecessary industrial buildings for now. So if I just delete those out, remove the opportunity for them to be loaded in again. So again, that immediately sort of tidies up this area. You haven't got all these buildings sitting right up against this city entrance. So yeah, I think everyone's going to be quite happy with that. Slowly reducing that smog, that industrial area that sits over there. Cool. So yeah, we're nearly there. We've got 126 workers so far. We need 150. So again, let's just leave that running for now. So I want to come back over to the north area of the island over here. And we said in the previous episode, I almost wanted to use this little area here as almost a second shopping area. So I'm just going to delete some of our trees that we placed in last time. Again, we will redo this in our time lapse later when we do some more detailing. And I just want to come through and just grab, do I put them here? Yeah, so I want to correct this zoning that's coming over here. So I'm hoping this allows me to do this. Let's come off of our road guidelines grid and road length, and I just want to build a path that comes through this bit here. So it's not going to be used really. I mean, people can walk alongside the road, but I'm just using this to allow the zoning to come back in and give us a bit better zoning to work with. So what I want to do is just add in, I think that's actually going to do us. So we'll maybe try and get just 1 or 2 shops coming in along here. So let's just quickly see what grows in. Let's make that 3 speed. Again, we want to keep the aesthetic. I don't like that. So we will come back to that and see what grows in over here. Cool, so we're now seeing we've got a really big industry spike, which is good because we want to force people coming in and working over here. So we're only 9 off, but what I think we will do in the meantime is give some more opportunity for workers. So I want to bring in a small fruit field over here. So these work very much the same as the crop fields. So this is going to give us 20 workplaces, but obviously it's going to produce fruit. So what I want to do is kind of make this a part of this area over here, and it actually spawned in as the greenhouse, which I like. So we've got this field where our Highland cows are grazing and eating, and then we've got this greenhouse building. So I think this just gives quite a nice little aesthetic. Let's turn the rain off. Forgive me, 2 seconds. Let's turn off dynamic weather. The rain is getting in the way. Cool. So yeah, I think this just gives a nice feel. So you've got, maybe these are offices where our farm workers are going to come and go, but then next to it you've got our field. So yeah, I think it just gives quite a nice little aesthetic to this area, and obviously gives us those additional workers. So we've now hit our target for workers, so we're at 152 workers in this area. We now just need to produce our resources to get us to where we need to be. Cool. So I think everyone's happy at this stage. So let's come back over here. They are determined to have this spawn in. Am I really going to be that annoyed with that? I think I'll leave it. Once we do some detailing, I don't think that's going to look too bad. And we don't have this over here either. So yeah, I think I'll leave that and just see what's spawning in next to it. This is actually perfect. This is what I wanted. So it's just like a little maybe car wash, is it? Yeah, a little car wash. So maybe you come to Sally's for your food, or maybe we consider this to be a little supermarket, a little corner shop, and you can get your car washed at the same time. It's got some nice little decorations out the back here. So yeah, I think everyone's going to be quite happy with that. Excellent. So what I want to do now, we said this previously, but I want to work with what is currently the mill district and change the aesthetic look of the buildings that are in here. So what this is going to do very temporarily is cripple our town. So we've already drawn out our district here, but what I want to do is change this district to our European suburbia theme. And what this will do is any non-European suburbia themed buildings that exist today will be deleted, and they will respawn, if I just go to free speed, as European suburbia buildings. So I waited until now to do this because we had a decent residential zone demand. If you don't have any demand, it's not worth doing this because you'll delete everything. As you'll see, we're hemorrhaging money as we speak. So I just kind of wanted to do it now while we had that demand in here, just to get this kind of moving, and then we don't have to worry about coming back to it further down the line. So hopefully everyone spawns in to reconnect all of our electricity. God, there was very few European buildings in there already. This is hurting us at the moment. We are losing money, but we'll get there. So what I want to do is just quickly connect everyone up so we don't have the electricity issues, and then everyone's going to be happy. Cool. So we'll come back to this. Hopefully it sorts itself out very quickly. But in the meantime, I just want to continue with what we were doing over here. So I don't want to bring in any residents over here because it's going to detract from what we're asking to go on in the east side of the island. So what I want to do over here is just build in a few more commercial assets. Again, just to give these guys some shopping opportunities where they live. Cool. So what I'm thinking is, again, you're going to come in off the 4-lane road. You're going to come up through this connector and into the city here. So I'm thinking again, we just want, let's see what we can get with a couple of smaller assets. Yeah, so I just want a couple of small commercial assets spawning in. And again, we'll just wait, see what comes through, make sure it's aesthetically pleasing. I mean, it's not the best, but I think we're going to be happy with that. And then see what we get growing in here. No, I do not like them. All those billboards are horrendous. So let's leave that at free speed. I'll tell you what, we'll come back to that and see what spawns in. Cool. So I think we're in a good spot. Our town is rebuilding itself over here. We've got our farm producing enough goods to get us to where we need to be, and our workers should continue to come in and come through over there. So I think everyone's going to be happy. So while we've got a bit of time, and we are allowing our industry to grow and our residences to grow, what I want to do is start upgrading some of these roads, just so we can really start working with what we've got. So what I want to do is use this 4-lane road. This is a really nice road, so you'll see it's a smaller version of the standard big 4-lane roads that you get, and I think this is going to give us quite a nice feel for this initial town. So yeah, I think we want to use this. So coming off of the roundabout here, I just want to start upgrading some of these circular roads into our 4-lane, and as we said, eventually this will come all the way through and go up into the northerly part of the island. So for now, I just want to come up to here. I'm sure you'll all agree this looks much better already. So if we get the view from our farms now, we've got this 4-lane road, and you've got this lovely view of the fields, and then from this side you can see the nice farm building in the background where our fruits are being stored, and then our animals just outside of that. So yeah, I think this is exactly the look that I was going for. I don't want a too big road because we're going for a very European feel in this part of town. So yeah, I think everyone's going to be very, very happy with that look. Cool. So let's have a quick look where we are. So we're very close to hitting our resources produced goal, and then we just need to get back to our worker levels, and because we reduced some of the people living in this area, that obviously reduced the number of workers actually actively going to work, so that's not going to take too long to come through. So I'll tell you what, we will leave that there and be right back in 2 seconds once we've reached our goal. Okay guys, there we have it. So as you'll see, we've reached level 2. So level 2 brings us the flour mill, we unlock the bakery, we get some barracks for our farm workers, we get the cattle shed, and the small barn. So yeah, gives us a lot of good opportunities for detailing and expanding our farm to get up to level 3. So let's crack on, let's dive in. So the first thing I want to do is have a little look at what we've got so far. I just want to delete these trees out. So we know we've already got these production buildings over here. They're going to send the crops over to the cows, so they can eat their food, and then we can produce the meat off the back of it, and then the same is applied for the fruit that is being produced out of here. So let's have a look at what we've unlocked. So we don't get any more extractor buildings or production buildings, whatever you want to call them, but we do get a lot more extractor buildings. So the flour mill is quite a good one. This is a really nice little asset to look at, again from a nice street view. This gives us 45 workplaces, so it's going to be a really good asset for getting our numbers up, and the cattle shed as well, so a place for our cattle to go and live, and it gives us 55 workplaces. So again, a couple of really good little assets here in terms of getting our workers up. So what I'd like to do to begin with is start with where our cattle are going to settle. So I want to bring a road right up the back of these two assets here. So as I said previously, we've got our cattle living in here, and then we've got this nice production building, but we're going to kind of use this aesthetically as maybe more of an office, but we want our cattle to have somewhere to live off the back of this. So what I want to do is bring a road across here, and then if we go back into our industry view and then bring in the cattle shed, and I want this to just sit on the edge here. So we've got a nice little aesthetically pleasing area going on here. Cattle grazing over here at night, maybe, I don't know, the farmer comes in, he takes them out of this pasture, and they come in and they go into their cattle shed, and then the farmer can go in here and produce some of the grains, etc., that the cows have been working on throughout the day. Not that cows work on grains, but you know what I mean. Cool, so that's gonna give us a nice aesthetically pleasing image to work with. So let's have a quick look at what that does to our numbers. So we now need to produce 1,500 units, which we've already done, but we now need to get to 350 workers, and we've only got space at the moment for 230. So that's going to be our main focus. to get to our next level. So the next thing I want to do is expand this little field area that we've got going on over here. So I do want to kind of get a nice view all the way across here of almost like the fields running the whole length of this road, or almost not all the way maybe, but kind of coming up to just before this little Stonehenge plot over here. And I kind of want to maintain this 2x2 fashion that we've got going on here. So the first thing I'm going to do is come off all of this. I want to bring in another silo, just so we've got a nice bit of storage to work with. And then grab our rural roads again and just bring him out. Let's go all the way to 20 units. And then I'm conscious of money, but we should be able to just bring in 2 more small crop fields in here. Okay, so everyone's going to be happy. So we've got our wheat, we've got our corn, and then we need to decide what we're going to have over here. So what I'm actually thinking is I want to keep the colour pattern going, so I'm going to bring in 2 more wheat fields. Again, ignore this for now, we will tidy this up. I do want little entry points, maybe one path coming through here, but we'll do that in the detailing time lapse later on. But for now I think everyone's going to be quite happy with that. So again, you've got your nice views of all the fields here, wheat, corn, wheat, and everyone's going to be pleased. Cool. So what's that done to our worker population? So it allows for 270. So for the mathematicians among you, we need 80 more workers coming into this area before we can proceed to the next phase. So we've obviously got a money issue. I don't think we're going to be able to. Oh, we can take a 20,000 loan. So we might as well just take that. Check our budgets are all good. Yep, everyone's going to be happy. So that is going to allow us to bring in the flour mill. So I just want to kind of have a look at how much is this. It's 15,000. So I just want to place this down for now. And if I place it maybe among our fields, I'm not too sure about having that there. So what I'm going to do is bring this over here. Okay, I think that's a bit better. So again, you've got the nice view of the fields in the background. Then between the silos you can see the flour mill. It's quite an impressive looking building, but I think that works quite nicely with the vibe that we're going for. And eventually we'll bring this road down and in, or maybe a pathway going around it and this road coming in a bit closer, but just to sort of enhance the look, we'll do some detailing in these little gaps, etc, etc. So that gives us space for 315 workers, so we need a little bit more coming in, but in order to fill those worker gaps we're also going to need residents. So what I want to do is have a look at our existing towns. So I think this one, I don't think we want to build much more than this on here. We've got a few little gaps here where we could maybe put a few additional houses, but yeah, I don't want this to get too big. It's our initial town after all. But we've got plenty of room for expansion over here. So I want to now come out to this side, and I do have some ideas of how I want to use this bit later on in the series. So I kind of want to go to effectively where this farmland sits here. That's going to be the edge of this town. So what I'm going to do is use this as a connector. Again, just bring this all the way up, and I want to maybe use some straight lines in this side. So let me just think where I want this to go. Yeah, let's just bring a road out here. So let's bring this out by 20 and see what that gives us. And then I want to come down here. Let's go all the way through, create a little cul-de-sac. I don't want to get too close to this because it will eventually become a 4-lane road. And then I'm thinking I want to bring a nice curve in up here, so that's 8. Let's come down by 8 as well and have a small little curved area up here. This will eventually allow us to expand once we unlock this part of the map, and then maybe have a nice little asset sitting in here as its own sort of separate area. Let's bring this out a little bit more, and then we can bring this through like so. Yeah, I think that's going to look good. Everyone's going to be quite happy with that. And then what this allows us to do is just bring in a few more residences. Let's quickly make sure, yep, our district falls through. So everyone's going to be quite happy with that. And then, yeah, I think we'll leave that for now. allow that to grow in, and we'll just see then how we want to proceed going forward. Cool. So what we can now see is we've got crops being produced by our fields and our fruit farm. The crops are then being used to produce animal products through our animal field over here. And we're also now producing flour, again taking the crops, turning that into flour using our flour mill. So our production is actually looking pretty good. We are making a loss at the moment, but that's to be expected this early on. But as we increase this area, get more workers in, that will naturally increase over time. So I want to continue with the vibe that we've got going on over here. So what I want to do quickly is just bring a little pathway through and have a little path coming through here. And then what I'm going to do is connect that path. Just want to get a little connection coming into the road. There we go. So people who live here, they can walk down, come through and come into work nice and easily. We will obviously expand this as we move through, but for now I think that's going to look quite good. Cool. And then we're just going to let that work through. We are losing quite a lot of money at the moment, I assume. Are we? Yeah, we're importing a lot of goods here. So I think because we just produced a new grain silo, we were importing a lot of goods. So as that fills itself up from the goods coming from outside of town and the goods that we've got inside of town, our money, yeah, you'll see it already, it's going back up. So we should be back in the green very, very soon. Cool. So before we run out of money, let's give these guys a little bit of water. So welcome to the city, and we have actually run out of money. So let's bring that up as far as we possibly can. Okay. I mean, it wouldn't be City Skylines, right, if you didn't have some issues along the way. So we're just gonna grow in, bring in some residences, get our taxes up, and that should help us get back into the green. There you go, back into the green, nice and quickly. Our farm over here should now be in profit, yes, because we've stopped importing all of those crops, and we are now producing our own. So it's not going to take long for that to spring back into action. So before these guys start moving out, let's just give them the water they deserve, not need, deserve, and everyone's going to be really happy. Cool. So what do we need? We still need another 35 worker spaces, so we need to get our money up before we can do that. But I think for now everyone's going to be quite happy. So yeah, so let's start thinking about expansion and where we go next. So obviously we're going to need the funds to do this, and this will be in a later episode. But we said previously we want our highway to come up and go through. Now obviously we've built our town up here in the north, so we're rethinking that slightly, but it's effectively going to be the same thing. So I'm leaving this space here empty for a reason, because eventually I want the highway to come up, come through here, curve round, come down through here, and then create a small bridge coming across, entering onto this piece of the island. So you've got nice views of sort of Stonehenge from the highway or motorway, and then it's going to come up into this plot of land over here. So as I said previously, we will rejig this piece of highway. So I'm going to bring this in a bit closer, coming around this little mountain top here, but I think that's going to hook in quite nicely and come through. And then this road will potentially be maybe go under the land or a bridge. I'm quite intrigued to have a little 4-lane bridge coming through. I think that's going to be quite a nice aesthetic and give us those sort of layers of height in what is quite a small looking area to begin with. Cool. So we're generating our money again. So what I want to do is bring in some more production buildings. So I want to get some more fruit fields coming in. I think that's going to be a good look. So I do want a little pathway through here. So let me just quickly delete this. Re-establish this road. Cool. That's going to look good. And then behind the flour mills here, let's bring that all the way out. Yep. So behind the flour mills, again, we start losing money as soon as we want to do something. No worries. That's going to take a second to come back in. There we go. Everyone's going to be happy. So in behind the flour mills, once we get the funds to do it, oh no, we do have the funds. I just want to bring in another little fruit field, but this time we are actually going to go with some actual fruit trees. So I'm going to go with pears. I think that's quite a nice look again. So once again, you've got this nice sort of view, sort of the old town farm vibes of the fields. You kind of gather in the lore. They reached a mechanical efficiency to start producing their flour through these mechanical silos over in this area. And then as part of that, to gain more products, they started introducing more fruit fields that are eventually going to span this whole area. I would like to be a nice little fruit field area of the farm. Cool. So I just want to bring in another one. And what I will eventually do is maybe have these sort of two either side to have a little fruit pasture over here. Cool. So he just wants a little bit of water. So if I bring that up, that should satisfy his needs quite nicely. And now you'll see we've got enough worker availability to reach our next level. So what I'll do, I will be back in 2 seconds once we reach our milestone. Okay, welcome back guys. So we've now reached our target goal of level 3 for our farms. So what this does, it boosts the efficiency of the area by 8%, reduces our pollution as well, which is fantastic. And we've unlocked the lemonade factory, the milking parlour. We've now got medium crop fields and medium fruit fields. So these are really going to help us later on as we build this farm out. But for now, I think we're going to leave our farm as is. And yeah, we aim to reach level 3. So in another episode, we'll expand this further. But for now, I think we're going to be quite happy with what we've got here. So off camera there, I did add one more little field in just to give us enough sort of push to get to the next level, which has worked. So I will add another one in there as well, probably in detailing time lapse. But yeah, I think we're in a good spot for our farm. I think that's looking very pretty as kind of an initial farm vibe. And again, it goes into the lure, right? So these guys would have come in here, settled, started producing their farming goods, and then over time this farm would grow and grow and grow. So yeah, I think that's where we're going to leave the farm for now. Cool. Yeah, so I think we're in a good spot. So our town's growing very nicely. Our farm has grown. This little northerly town over here is growing very, very slowly, but this is going to look really nice. Once it's finished, we're going to have a nice cemetery sort of sitting up on a hill here, maybe some nice curvy roads coming up to that. So yeah, this is going to look really good. And then we will also be bringing in our timber industry. So our forestry works are going to come and sit over in here. So it's going to look really cool once we have the highway coming through. We have our forestry sort of sitting here with our farms, and then these guys should all be nicely connected. Maybe have this road coming through as like a little connector road if you don't want to use the highway. So yeah, I think everyone's looking very happy. So we'll do that next episode. But for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into a small detailing time lapse, and then we'll see where we are. Okay, welcome back guys. So we've done some minimal detailing over here. So we've added some trees as you come around this. I think it's quite nice. It kind of blocks off the view of the main road from the schools. We've got a nice little park sort of sat within these trees. But yeah, a couple of little pathways, a little tennis court sort of sat next to the high school over here, so nothing major. Again, added an abundance of trees in around our farm. A few little pathways through here, so nothing too major. And then again, just a couple of little pathways coming through over here, but we will eventually add a load of trees once we've built this out, and really make this area pop. So yeah, I think that's going to do us for today guys. So we'll be back with episode 4 very, very soon. Again, we still need a name for the city. So if you can get that drop down in the comments below, hit that like, hit that subscribe or dislike. Yeah, cool. I will see you all very soon. Thank you very much.